Welcome to Pegasus Games, home of the games you never outgrow, and this is Commander Quarter, and I'm Tanner. Today I'll be talking to you about Kaldheim and some of the set mechanics from this set, as well as some of the Commander stuff from it. Today I'll be running you through modal double face cards, sagas, boast, foretell, and snow. So one really cool thing about this set is that they brought back snow, and one of the best cards to talk about that with is E01, God of Winter. Obviously, he's a legendary snow creature god, and when he attacks, he makes all of your snow permanents untap. A very important thing here being snow is a super type, not a subtype. AKA lands can be snow lands, but they can't be land snows. Just wouldn't make sense. Another nice thing is that it also includes artifacts, planeswalkers, and creatures. There aren't any snow planeswalkers yet, but I can definitely see Wizards doing something along those lines eventually. And one cool thing about E01 is on the backside, he is Kaldheim the Rhyme Staff. It is a legendary snow artifact, and it can tap to bring back a snow permanent from your graveyard. Some other really cool mechanics are the foretell and boast. The newest one being foretell, meaning you can cast a card from exile for its foretell cost. But in order to do that, you must first foretell it by paying 2 generic mana on your turn. Now the important thing here is it has to be on your turn. You can't do it at instant speed. However, you can do it in response to someone, like say asking you to discard 2 cards, but before you discarding those 2 cards. With boast, you can boast anytime after the creature has been declared as an attacker, meaning that Varragoth Bloodsky Sire, you can declare him as an attacker and then pay 1 and a black anytime during your turn, but before the end of your turn. However, you can't do that in your first main phase. And then for sagas, a returning mechanic in Kaldheim, sagas in Kaldheim have a very cool effect on a lot of the game. Today I'll be talking to you about Waking the Trolls, which is a 3-chapter saga for 4 red and a green. Its first ability, when it enters the battlefield, you'll put a lore counter on it, and then after that lore counter is placed on it, its first chapter ability will trigger, and it's just called Destroy Target Land. And at the beginning of your next turn, on your first main phase, you'll put another chapter counter on it and put the second chapter ability onto the stack, which is just put target land from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. And for its last one, which you will do on the next turn, you'll choose target opponent, and if they have less lands than you do, you're going to make X for 4 trolls, where X is the difference of lands you control. But this only triggers if you have more lands than your opponent. And as for the last returning mechanic, it's modal double face cards with a little bit of a twist. So before in Zendikar Rising, they were just all, one side had a spell, the other side had a land. This time, they have either 2 spells or 2 lands. The card I'll be talking to you today about will be Kaldheim, God of Kinship, although E01 was also a modal double face card. Kaldheim's on the front side is 2 green for a legendary creature god. As long as you control 3 or more legendary creatures, Kaldheim gets +4/+2, and has vigilance. And then for 1 and a green, you can tap her to look at the top 6 cards of your library and reveal a legendary creature from it and put it into your hand. The rest go on the bottom of your library in any order, or in a random order. Whereas on the backside, you have the Ringheart Crest, which is just 1 and a green for a legendary artifact, and as it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. And then you can tap it to add green to spend it as a green of any. You can then tap it to add green for the chosen creature type or a legendary spell. So those are the mechanics for this set. And one thing that I'm really excited about is the Kaldheim Commander decks that you can pick up. They're $24.99 a piece right now, roughly. And they have one highlighting the new mechanic Foretell. It's called the Phantom Premonition, which is the one I've got right in front of me, and it is headlined by Raynar, the Ever Watchful. It's a very cool commander card which costs 2 white blue. It's a legendary creature, Spirit Warrior, with flying and vigilance. And the first card you foretell each turn costs 0 mana, meaning you get to bypass the foretell cost on all your other foretell cards. And whenever you exile 1 or more cards from your hand or battlefield, you can create a 1/1 Spirit creature token with flying. Very cool and very interesting commander. I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like this, where it's like white-blue tokeny exile stuff. So it's very interesting. And then in the other deck that I didn't bring with me, we've got Lathril, Blade of the Elves, headlining that commander deck. And she is a 2 black-green for a legendary creature, Elf Noble, with Menace. And whenever she deals combat damage to a player, you create that many 1/1 green Elf Warrior creature tokens. And then you can tap her and tap 10 untapped elves you control and drain each opponent for 10 life, meaning that they'll all lose 10 life and you'll gain 10 life. This is a very fun commander if you're into the elf tribal theme. She is very strong, but she's only a 2/3 for her power and toughness. However, being able to make tokens when she deals combat damage, as well as then using those tokens to drain for 10 life, I think it's a very strong commander and possibly one of the more flavorful for elves, being both very pristine but also very hard and kind of mean towards other people. So I'm hoping that this Commander Corner is going to be talking to you guys a lot about Commander, as well as the new sets that come out as new sets roll out, and just talking about the new mechanics from those sets. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments below. Greatly appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.